Blessings, blessings, blessings. This is Will of M, and the M comes later. Now, continuing on my manga reviews of boxing manga, I want to start on one called Holyland, which I haven't read either. And I've seen it around a couple times. Just off rip, I didn't. The cover never grabbed me. Like, don't care. Like, I got that gist. He was fighting people in the streets. I might have read 1 or 2 chapters. I'm like, I don't really care about this. Actually, I didn't even make it through the first chapter. The first couple of pages had me bored because it's the way it looked. I wasn't into that. Back at that time, I was more into Grappler Baki's art style. But off rip. The cover page, I said it was weak, but the first page is such a juxtaposition. You see, we don't know his name yet, but it's you. We see you there with blood on his arms, blood on his knuckles, looking back, look like he's ready for a scrap, you know? And on the back cover, you got that shit on. He got that shit on. So, we get into it. First, we're introduced to Yagi. NBC bully type, any old bully with a frosted tips, button-up shirt, you know, he's a regular delinquent. To run the mill, insert random delinquent design here. We're then introduced to Masaki. A pretty boy bad type. You could think Shin from Gakusen or like Baji from Tokyo Revengers. Also a side note, Shin from Gakusen looks just like Baki from season 2 way back in, I think it was like 2005, 2006. So we learned through dialogue. Masaki, he boxed in his regional high school, which honestly is like, I'm assuming it's like Golden Gloves for his section, or like, you know, the conferences, you know. He boxed at Fred High School, and it's flashing between Masaki talking and then Yagi yanking up some random victim, ranks up some random victim off an arcade table and starts taking this man to the bathroom.
Yo, what the fuck?
When they get back to Masaki talking about how he would be Yagi, calling him slow, saying he's not all that. And while this is going on, describing Yagi's weaknesses, Yagi's taking a good old left-right good night from the victim. He gets laid out and is sitting down by the urinal. He gets laid out by the urinal. It's crazy. Face all busted open. And honestly, the victim seems shocked by themselves. Like, the victim's looking like. And then Yagi has the nerve to talk spicy while sitting in a pool of piss. And first, the victim backs down, but then he bucks up. He starts standing on business.
Standing on business. We standing on business.
We snap back to the delinquents who are talking about a thug boxer hunter. And it's beating everyone in just 2 hits. As this is going on, Yagi stumbles out, holding his bloody face. First, he doesn't want to show anybody. Then after Masaki makes him show it, they realize he was just attacked by the thug boxer hunter. The thug boxing hunter. Sorry. Jeez and peas. So they set out. He couldn't have gone far. He just left the bathroom. But the only clue they have is that he looked weak. Yagi even says, I thought he was just some loser. Masaki actually ends up finding the victim, but is so shocked by how vulnerable he looks, how supple he looks. He releases him, lets him go. Like, there's no way. There's no way. This guy.
Release me.
So, off rip, I started liking this chapter for just first 2 reasons. One, it's the first meeting is kind of reminiscent of Fight Club. We're kind of just like, technically he sees Tyler Durden in a blimp, but when the narrator sees him on the plane, it's like, hey, like it's a meeting that it's an awkward meeting, you know. But knowing they're gonna have a bigger story together, this first meeting is kind of awkward. I like the mystery of the story. Like, why is Thug Hunt on the streets? Is he really a fighting genius? You know, and what's he running away from? And lastly, I like Masaki's story. Like, why did he quit boxing? They ask him at one point, he says, because the streets seem more fun. Like, what was so fun about the streets? Though Masaki's still excited about what went down. He's thinking to himself, that couldn't have been a guy. He calls him too delicate. He's like a flower. He's a little sweetie pie. It couldn't have been him. But he is excited to meet this thug hunter. Next, we get back to the victim at school. And it's like, the rumors are going up. He's by himself. You know, typical loser in high school vibes. He reminds me kind of a Shinji Ikari from Evangelion. But he's there at school kind of to himself, getting some food. And as he's walking like alone, he hears rumors, people talking about him. And he thinks back to the times he's on the streets and like thinks back to the bully telling him he's going to kill him. He gets nervous, but he's like, I don't want to be a target again. I have to fight back. And it shows scenes of him even being bullied at school, people writing mean things on his locker, his cubby, things like that. And as the kids are talking and like talking loud, they get more excited, and they call him the Shimokita Thug Hunter Boxer. I'm so happy I got that right. I've had to refilm this so many times. And from the praise, he has an out-of-body experience. Like you see his heart pounding, he kind of glowing, and he loves it. Like he loves the feeling. He feels alive. It's euphoric for him. And finally, the first character Saul calls him by his name. He calls him you. And it's a girl. It's a girl named Awazawa Mai. And he doesn't remember her. But I've noticed throughout these first 10 chapters, he has issues with memory. So it gives me vibes like, Mr. Robot, or again, Fight Club, where he's not recalling everything, or he might be a unreliable narrator. But just keep that in mind. But Iwazawa's frustrated. He doesn't remember who she is. Acts like an old man. Tess reminds her of her younger brother. And from obviously we find this out that the younger brother is Masakai, the one who's actually looking for him. So, that's all gonna come to head eventually. And they go on to say he gets bullied not because he's a weakling, or not because he's like ugly or dumb or anything like that. He just gets bullied because he looks like a weakling. Like he just looks off. People bully him.
Baby, you just ain't got that dog in you. I'm sorry.
So fast forwarding, Yu is walking the streets, having an inner monologue with himself, talking about how he has to find some place that's his own, some place he belongs and protect it. And I like it because the whole theme of Holyland is that the Holyland is a space between being a child and being an adult. So it's mostly like preteen years, maybe even young adult years. And it's a coming of age story set in just a violent scenario and a violent atmosphere and environments hidden through fights. So I'm seeing the appeal of it. I'm seeing very much of the appeal of it. While he's walking the streets, he's caught down by two thugs. They know he's a thug hunter. One is named Kenji. And they ham him up, And at first he's scared. He's scared to go for it. He doesn't want to fight. They grab him by his right shoulder of his backpack, and he punches Kenji. Bow! And it lands flush. But he can't get his right off. He's trying. He can't do it. And because the fights actually describe realistically. If someone has your shoulder, it's hard to throw a punch. Damn near impossible. So he can't get his right off, and he puts his hand up in one of the funniest handles. He goes, hee, and tries to block a punch, and Kenji throws a punch, but it's hard for him to land because the hand's in the way. Again, realistically, he's trying to punch, he can't get off, and he's grabbing him, and his friends are back shouting it out like, hurry up, and you see him like, Kenji's just sweating bullets, blood's coming out of his nose, he can't breathe right, he's sweating. It shows like how in real life street fights don't last that long, and it's showing why it is. They don't have the conditioning. Like, it's hard to breathe. They don't breathe the right way. So you can make a decent fighter can make easy work in most street fights. But you figures out just jab them. All you have is your left, just jab. And I like that because a lot of these things call me back to Ippo. One is saying what was I expecting, answer my expectations. And two was, I think it was the chat when Ippo's last match, when he fights, forgetting the man's name right now. But he's from the Philippines. Antonio Guevara, I want to say. And he gets countered. He's like, all I got is my left. What am I saying? All I got is my left because it's southpaw. Counters Ippo. Pow! It creams him. Knocks him smooth out. Anyway, Yu knocks out Kenji. Proceeds to beat on him. And then Kenji falls down. Yu looks at his friend. She's like, no, I'm good. I don't want to. And then Yu gets scared and runs away. Thinking, what have I done? I have to leave this place too again. I want him to leave places. So you get the sense of where is he running from? What has he been through before this, and why is he so good at fighting one, and why is he so scared to fight? Again, it's giving that split personality situation, bipolar disorder. He stops at an arcade, hand still bleeding, just kind of calms himself down. The hand pulls on him, and he turns around. And it's a dude named Kaneda. Now he turns around very scared, and it could be because he just had a fight. He's walking around the same place he fought someone at. But I was getting some Berserk vibes, maybe, he had a little Donovan 3 silver coin situation, if you catch my drift. Both see as the story goes on. But his class name, Kaneda, and he just, he's talking to him. He's a friendly, blonde-haired kid. He's out in the hood, but not really part of the hood, just hanging out. He invites you to the arcade to play some games. And it goes from there to like they have montage of them playing Tetris, even seeing each other at school, and just hanging out. Just regular old fun times. And one day the girls pop up again. It's Aizawa and her friends, and she's pressing you like, don't forget my name. Aizawa spells out for them. Don't forget my name. And she says they want to hang out and play DDR. And before you can even answer, Kanye is like, yeah, we want to. The girl's like, why are you talking to you? It's like, and he tells you, just trust me. Trust me, man, trust me. So they go play DDR. And once Aizawa steps on it, she bends over and shows her panties. It just has a nice little slice of life moment. They just like being kids again. He's like calls him out for it. Like, it wasn't just me. You was looking too. He's like, yo, whoa. Don't put this on me.
He went from Martin Luther King to Malcolm X fast.
And they're having fun at the arcade. And one of the gangsters goes up and tells Masaki, sees his sister playing at the arcade. He's like, yeah, so what? He's like, I think it's with the guy that might be the thug hunter because he looks so weak and so soft out of place. Which again is such a weird moniker. Like, there's no other soft looking people out here. Probably not at that time of night. A rival gang though, the gang Kenji's from, gets a judo master to come through and fight for him. And the gang's like, why judo? Like, we can't handle it ourselves. Like, no, if we lose another time, we're gonna be embarrassed. Let them do it. And people looking down on judo person, oh, judo can't be it. But judo can't be that good. It is what it is. And one of the gang's like, I'll beat up myself. He's like, all right, give him demonstration, but don't hurt him too bad. Judo master is Aiwado. And of course, he does a natural, introduce the villain, show how strong he is. He slams the guy on the ground and knocks him out because it's not like concrete. And all this is going on, Masaki's explaining situations like, Masaki's really the fighting expert. He's more the Takamura of this world than anything else. He just knows all about fighting. So we'll fast forward. They find, well, Kaneda is also called Shinchan. That's what you calls him. So they find you and Shinchan at the arcade. You has on like his whole schoolboy outfit, his backpack tucked on real tight. And they invite him outside. So you're the thug hunter, right? Come outside with us. And Shin's like, no, you have the wrong guy. Dude's like, shut the fuck up. I'm not talking to you. We know what we got here. Bring him outside. He's like, just tell me it's wrong. And then you just looking down like, yeah, they got me. The jig is up, fellas. The jig is up. They go to the back. He tried to convince Shinchan, get out of there. Like, leave, you gotta go. Like, don't stay for this. Like, let him go. He's like, nah, he's staying. Oh, he's fucking staying. And then, Makasi's caught up. He's on the way. He just ditched some girls. And on the way there, Masakai gets caught up too. I was like, oh man, like, okay, this is the time they're all going to meet up in the same spot. You know, like how the writing's going. And Masakai gets stopped by some random thugs. Like, hey, remember me? He's like, ah, shit. He's like, he tells me, we got to do this right now. I'm in a hurry. You have to settle this right now. I was like, yeah, we have to. And I was like, oh man, like they're going to miss meeting again. But also, like, how is you got the situation? It might be some police that come. Like, because I feel like if Masakai comes, he's the one that's going to stop him from like jumping him. Because obviously he's going to beat the judo dude somehow. Masakai knocks the guy out in one hit. He palms him to the head. Just like, wow, palms him real quick. Side of the head and sleeps him. Excellent boxing stance. He's like, we're good here? Okay, perfect, good. And he runs off. And he just explained, like, you see how good of a fighter he is, and he hasn't shown his hands yet. Like, at one point he showed like how quick he was to his friend, and he knocked the guy out without punching him. So he has an expert, you know what I mean? It's really building him up too in a very subtle way. We all make it to the fight outside. Aiwado and you are lined up together or not. He doesn't want to run away. He's not stopping. He has to fight, you know. And as scared as he is, you know, he's shaking. He puts his hands up. He jabs him up. Just bow, bow. And he gives him 1-2. And it lands flush. And Masakai's impressed. Like, yo, that 1-2 is perfect. But everything else about him is shit. Stance, fucked. Hips, fucked. Foot placement, footwork, fucked. Like, he's an amateur everywhere except for his hands, which is crazy. It gives me real Joe Yabuki vibes, you know. It's heavy. I think it's a heavy mixture of a lot of different things, you know. But that eventually his jabs aren't enough. Use jabs aren't enough, and Aiwado grabs him and lands a slam on him. Pow! Cracks him. Let him wind the ground. But luckily he has his backpack on, which, you know, I want to say it's plot armor, but he always has his backpack on, so I couldn't get too mad about it. So he has his backpack on. That stops him taking a full run, like getting a seizure, breaking his spine. And he gets up, you know. He thinks about the pain. He said, the pain I face in my everyday life, the pain of not belonging is way worse than the pain I'm facing here. I'm like, yo, what has this kid been through? He done seen some stuff. He gets up trembling, have the round two. And boy, and both of them around their demon form, you know, because Masakai, the little punch not going to beat him. He knows he can't get slammed again. And Yu goes ham. He jabbed him up. Masakai has a hold of his right arm. And Yu bites him in. And Yu switches up his stance, gets like a real professional stance. And as he goes to grab his right collar, he counters him. Bow! Like the left jab now becomes a left straight. Boom! And slumps him. Puts him down. There were certain points in the fight where at one point he had knocked out Awado's tooth and was bleeding a lot, and Arthur gave her Arthur. Like, you may think that bleeding, like the mouth bleeding this much is excessive, but if you knock out one tooth, there's enough blood to fill up a seat cushion. It's like fighting isn't pretty for like the victim or the victor. So I like that, those little notes about it's not really glamorizing what goes on in street fights. After he beats him, after Yu goes crazy and beats him, rah! It's revealed that you actually broke his hand. And the author brings out a note to like, you hit a human skull that hard, like you're gonna snap your hand up. Even karate practitioners have to train decades to build their hands up enough to fight bare-fisted. That's why boxers wrap their hands up. So his hand snapped up, bam, it's gone. Masakai finally sees him, goes in, and says, not broken, it's just dislocated, and pops it back into place. Thugs on blood, thugs on jump him. Masakai stands up, so I take you guys on. Me and my two buddies got my back. I'll kill all y'all in here. As this happens, police pull up. Squad car starts to pull up, and we get out of there. So things go back to normal. We snap back to Yu has not been talking to Shinchan since things have gone down. And once again, he feels kind of at a loss, you know? Kind of he doesn't know where to go in his life. And he wants to find a Holyland again, because obviously at school no one talks to him, we know where he is. He just feels safe there, so he's disappearing and running away for a little bit. It fast forwards that it's now Masakai walking around a brand new place, because there's rumors about Yu being some other place, every place else. He's not been in school. They don't know where he's at right now. And it's Kichoichi. He's at this more arcades. It's funner down here. And then it flashes to Masakai. Like, we hear this thug hunters around. Like, what? He's around here, and runs off. And chapter ends with a crazy good ending title page. This manga seems like it's worth the hype. The way it started off and the way it's going, I really am invested. I'm interested in like the mystery. I love the fight. I love how realistic the fighting is too. Although I do like Baki's art, I did prefer Goroden's story, just because Goroden's like, if they look like Baki, you actually have to fight like real people. You're not gonna take a bunch of punches and things like that. I will say I want to see him take a little bit more damage. Yu seems like he just gets off a little scot-free a lot of the times, and then I'm looking forward to his eventual match with Masaki. But for the time being, Masaki seems like he's taking on more of a mentor role than as an arch rival role. Maybe he's doing a Hisoka thing where he wants him to build himself up and then fight him. That would be dope too. But yes, I'm looking forward to seeing also how Yu changes as the story goes on. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll get you guys back with another review.
Into my world, would I be stupid if I made you my girl? I'm looking for some place to bring in my world. You get so confused.